Hey guys, all right, so today I'm going to show you how grading and gradebooks work in Canvas. Because there are no students in my current Canvas account, I'm going to show you one from that I use in California. Okay, so let me put myself down here. So if we're on our main landing page, the first thing we want to consider when we use the gradebook is, do we want to have weighted grading? So do we want assessments to be 60% of the grade, what have you? So what we would do is we would go to assignments, and we would go to add group. Okay, so we're going to choose the group name. So it can be assessments, homework, whatever you want it to be. So let's say that I want assessments to be added to the group. You're going to scroll down to the bottom. You're going to make sure it's there. And just like in Synergy, every time you create an assignment, you're going to go to the drop down and you're going to select what group it's in. So once you've created all your groups, however many groups you want, assignment, assessments, classwork, homework, what have you, you're then going to go to these three dots right here, and you're going to go to assignment groups weight. Okay, you want to weight your final grades, and obviously I only have two things in here, and whatever you choose, so if I choose 50%, just like in Synergy, it's going to allow me to only do things that go to 100. Okay, so then you're going to have your weighting system, and you hit save, and then it will be all set. Okay, so that's how you set up weighting in the gradebook. So there are a couple of ways to do grading in the gradebook. You just go to grades for the gradebook. So obviously you can have the individual view, the gradebook history, all that kind of stuff. You can have filters. You can arrange by points lowest to highest, however you want to do it. Okay, so this is what your gradebook will look like. Obviously, these are all kiddos from several years ago who have graduated and who are gone. So your gradebook will look like this. Anything in red is either going to be late or missing. Anything in blue is going to be recently added. So let's say a kiddo missed an assignment and then they added it after the due date, it will show up blue. Okay, so you have a couple options here. You can put in grades manually, so you can just go down and put 15. Like if they're in front of you, you can just put them in there. So if we have obviously turned in something on paper, you can just go through the grades that way, 15, 15, what have you. Or you can go into the actual assignment and manually grade it, or it's called speed grading. Two ways to go about that. One, you can click on the actual assignment. Okay, click on the three dots, go to speed grader. What that will do is it will show you each individual assignment, okay? So then you put the grade out of whatever, okay? So let's say I put 0, okay? You hit submit, or you can just hit enter. And you'll see that this right here will turn to a check mark, and that tells you that the grade has been recorded in the gradebook. From there, you go to the next kid. So this is Sidonia. She has a grade of 25. I can add comments if I would like. I can also add speech comments. I can add a video. I can add an attachment, whatever you want. When I do an essay, I add the graded rubric to it, and that's where I use the attachment. Okay, and then you just keep going through all of the students, and it'll show you how many. So when you eventually get back to 1, which I will do, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so you get back to 1, and then you can see by the check mark that it has been graded. You can just close this window, and it'll bring you back to the gradebook. Oh, I closed the wrong one. Dang it. That's okay. I'll get back to it. So many Canvas windows open. Okay. So then you could just, you close it and you would go back to it. Okay. So let's go back to the gradebook. So grades. So you scroll all the way to the end to see the average on the kiddos, okay? And this will do a breakdown, move myself. This will do a breakdown for you how they're doing on assignments, how they're doing on assessments, and how they're doing as a total. Now, what is cool about our new system is that we have all the analytics, which is really nice. And again, you can, so I'm getting ahead of myself. So first of all, let me show you guys what the analytics look like. Let me go to YPV. Let me go to and again, if we had students in here, it would be easier for me to show you guys what we're doing. Actually, I can do it here. So let's say we wanted analytics on a particular kid. Okay, so what we would do is we would go to people. And let's pick Morgan. We go to the 3 dots. Okay, and we want to see the analytics. Okay, so this is going to, and our Canvas is going to do a lot more than this one, again, because this is the free version, so just bear that in mind. But so it'll tell us, you know, the scores on all of the assignments, where they scored, their weekly online activities, so we'll be able to tell when they logged in, how long they had logged in for, the communication that they have had with us, all that stuff. So she, in a total, had 41 participations, 839 page views. So for example, if a kid says, oh yes, I've been on it for like an hour, but we'll be able to say, all right, well, he went on, you know, the page 100 times yesterday, but or 100 times over the course of a week, but only submitted 1 assignment. So we'll be able to screenshot that and show that to parents. Okay. And again, the way to do that is we're going to download right there, just the way we would that screenshot, that academic screenshot that we had before. Our Canvas looks a little bit different than this because they have the paid for analytics, but very, very similar. So that's how you would do kind of like a grade report. So let's go back to the grades. Okay, so if you go up to this setting gear thing, this allows you to automatically set up a late policy if you want to. So if you have an automatic apply for submissions, after the due date passes in Canvas, it will automatically take away that percentage. So let's say that I decided to do that and I deducted late submissions by 10% for every day that they were missing. So I could put in 80% as the score would have been, but this will take away that percentage automatically. And you can set a lowest possible grade. So if the lowest thing gets a 70, you can do something like that. I'm not a huge fan of this just because we have so many sped kids and stuff like that. You could do an advanced grade override if you wanted to, but it's getting a little more complicated that way. If you have a hard and fast policy and you want to keep it that way, go ahead and try it. But again, there's a lot of variables when it comes to what we take late and who we take things late from. So I am willing to work with you guys more if you're interested in using this option. It's just not an option that I plan to use. Okay, so otherwise that's pretty much the gradebook. Now, there are other ways to go into a speed grader situation. So let's actually go into the film. Okay, so let's go into this acting one. And let me scoot myself over and let's look at a different, let's see, it's actor analysis. So there is a speed grader option right here on the assignment. So you can just click on the assignment and speed grade it that way. You can download the submissions and print them out if you want to give kids feedback, any of that stuff. You can do. It also tells you how many are graded, all that kind of stuff. So now I'm looking for a discussion board so I can show you guys how those, let's do this. Okay, so if you're doing a discussion, and you're grading a discussion, so you're just going to go to those 3 dots up here. You're going to go to speed grader. Now, let's say you require an initial post and a response. So each student for the speed grader, it'll show up with everything they've posted on that thread. So as you guys can see, we have the initial post here, and then I have all of the responses. So that way you're not scrolling through discussion boards in order to find all of the responses. Each kid's responses and their initial post will show up in the same place is basically what I'm saying. Okay, so then you go through and you can speed grade that. We close it and we end up back at the gradebook. Other than that, that's pretty much the grades. Now, one really quick thing when we're talking about attendance, if you want to make attendance part of the grade, Okay, then you would take attendance. Now, the gradebook will make it out of 100. You can go in and change that if you want. So let's say that I wanted to go in and I wanted to change the attendance. So attendance ends up being 100 points. It just randomly assigns it that. You can change it later on. Okay, so here you find roll call attendance. So it's out of 100. Again, you decide if you want to make attendance or participation or whatever part of the grade. It's entirely up to you. As far as I know, we still have to use Synergy for generating attendance because Synergy is what's connected to the system that calls parents when kids are not there, and all that kind of stuff. So keep a record here, but I'm fairly certain Synergy will remain our go-to for that. But obviously, if that changes, you guys will be notified. Okay, so otherwise, that's pretty much everything. If we wanted to change roll call attendance again, we go to the 3 dots, or excuse me, we just click on it right there. We can edit its assignment settings. And then we can make it worth as many points or as few points as we want. And we can also decide how much we want complete, incomplete, make it worth points. It's entirely up to you guys and what you want to do. Okay, so if you have any questions about Gradebook, grading, or anything like that, please feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to help you guys once again. Have a good one.